Hello everyone, this is Valerie. Welcome to day 1 of the sleep challenge. When it comes to sleep, people normally sit in one of 3 camps. There's the sleep is for wimps, sleep is not efficient, it's a badge of honor, I really don't need sleep because it gets in my way, I can get more stuff done if I need more sleep. Then there's the other camp of people where they think I desperately need sleep, I just can't get it. Babies are keeping me awake, children are keeping me awake, stress from life, other things are just keeping me from getting the sleep I really need, but I desperately, desperately need sleep. The third camp are just people that have different type of health conditions or chronic pain or sleep apnea. And these conditions keep them from getting the sleep they need. So to tell you everyone a quick story, there was one day I was kind of achy all over, kind of in denial about having fibromyalgia, kind of had a bad, dull headache all day long. 2 teachers had called out that day. My son had called and said he had forgot his lunch. I knew I needed to pick him up. I needed to get my daughter to volleyball practice. I was taking health coaching and nutrition classes and I needed to get work done for both of those things. And I need to get her from practice, get everyone home, figure out how to get my work done, get dinner, get them ready for school the next day. And when we got home, we lost power. At that point, my brain almost exploded. It was, what was I gonna do? Everything was falling apart. My children were freaking out. I was freaking out. I was gonna be exhausted in the morning because I knew I already had enough problems sleeping. And what in the world was I gonna do without power, and how was it gonna even function the next day? But to my surprise, I actually slept great that night. It was like the first time in forever I slept great. Right before I went to sleep, it was pitch black in the room. I realized I needed to figure out a way to just calm down a little bit, to just relax myself because my brain was exploding. And I just went to sleep. And it was at that point that I realized that all the things that I had read about, all the courses I had taken, everything I had learned, I was not putting into action. And those things actually really do work. I knew the things I needed to do to get better sleep, but I just didn't want to do them. I thought they were going to create too much stress in my life, and to do those things were actually going to create more stress. I thought I didn't have the time, that life was too busy, and I wouldn't be able to make any of the changes really necessary to get good sleep. But sometimes life whispers at you to make a change, and when you don't make those changes, it decides to yell at you instead. So after that point, I realized I needed to do a mindset change. And the change I made was from I need sleep to I get to sleep. To look at sleep as a great self-care tool that I can give myself that's even more valuable than any massage, vacation, or day at the spa that I could ever get. Now, I'm sure most of you know that sleep has some really negative effects on your body. So I'm just going to go over some of these really quickly. So first of all, everyone knows your immune system. Lack of sleep decreases your resistance to infection and cancer. So if you're not getting good enough sleep, you're probably going to be able to get sick a lot faster than you would if you weren't getting enough sleep. Weight gain. When you don't get enough sleep, your body has insulin resistance, so you're more prone to weight gain and even things like type 2 diabetes. When you don't get enough sleep, you crave high-calorie foods. Your cortisol is increased, which impacts your body's ability to regulate glucose, which is sugar in your body, and also stores more belly fat. Sleep can make you moody, which will impact your relationships will suffer, your work quality and productivity will go down, your thyroid function will slow down, you have increased risk of heart disease, because your cortisol goes up, you have your stress hormone, makes you eat more, which gives you that belly fat I just talked about. You'll also have things like memory loss, obesity, depression. You'll age faster. Some research has shown that your cognitive function goes down, and it will, in fact, impact your speed, accuracy, hand-eye coordination, decision-making, memory, and memory consolidation. Lack of sleep for more than 24 hours will significantly impact the amount of glucose to your brain, which has shown that lack of sleep actually makes you dumber. The Dalai Lama says that sleep is the best medicine. And that's true, and it's said so many times by so many people. You want to shift your thought about sleep from something that you have to do to something that you get to do to improve yourself. Now, the two main things you need to know about your sleep cycle are the hormones cortisol and melatonin. These are key hormones, and they're tied to the circadian rhythm and light in the day. So the basic thing you need to know is that light stimulates cortisol, and cortisol goes up in the morning, and it's the hormone that keeps you awake. It also inhibits melatonin. So you want to be able to have as much light during the day as possible. When the light goes down, your cortisol goes down, and now your body produces more melatonin, and that helps you go to sleep. If you have too much light at night, cortisol will be stimulated and your melatonin will be suppressed, so you won't be able to go to sleep at night. Okay, so now let's talk about some of the things you can do to help get yourself some better sleep at night. One thing that you really can work on is the sleep environment. And one of the big things is temperature. Temperature in a sleep environment really can impact your sleep. If you get too warm at night, you will wake up. So research shows that a good temperature range for people are somewhere in between the ranges of 60 degrees Fahrenheit and 70 degrees. And everybody's a little different, so you're going to have to try to figure out which works for you. That's not too hot, not too cold. Fans are great options because you don't have to change the temperature in your whole home. You can just change where you're sleeping. It also has white noise, which also helps you sleep as well. You can look at cooler sheets, cooler blankets, maybe try layering your blankets. Don't use warm sheets like flannel sheets if you tend to get hot. And if you really have difficulty staying cool at night, some people use a chili pad, and it goes under your sheet on top of your mattress. But they're a little expensive, so you may want to try some other things first before you invest in something like a chili pad. Other things you need to really consider is the light at night that you get. You don't want to have any bright lights before you go to bed, especially blue light. Blue light is the worst light that you can have coming into your eyes at night. It will increase the cortisol and reduce the melatonin produced. And you kind of want to have that cortisol going down at night and the melatonin increasing so you can get good sleep. And there's lots and lots of research that has been done on especially blue light at night impacting your cortisol levels and inhibiting those melatonin levels so you can't sleep. And they're all different ranges, but there are lots of studies that says if you get 30 minutes of blue light, it will decrease the amount of sleep that you get during the day. There are also devices that you can get to help with the blue light. Most people will say turn off all the devices minimum 30 minutes before you go to sleep. Turn off the phone, the tablets, the TV, the computer to try to eliminate all the blue light. But basically what you want to do is dim the lights in your house, reduce the amount of blue light. If you really have to have a phone, a tablet, or TV, look at some of the filters that are available. There are apps on devices that eliminate the blue light. There are filters you can use on your TVs or your tablets. They even have blue light glasses you can wear. And I know a lot of people that really like to use the glasses because it doesn't really change much of what they're doing. Put on the glasses, inhibits the blue light, and they don't have that issue with cortisol. Now, the other thing you need to look at is light coming in from the outside. It's not really moonlight coming in, but it's an other artificial light coming in from the outside. So things like blackout curtains and an eye mask really help to put you in a really dark place. Now, the other thing you might have issues with are there might be other light sources in your room, like an alarm clock. A lot of alarm clocks are blue lights. There might be other blue lights in your room. Small little lights you can cover up with tape. Other than that, the easiest thing, maybe put an eye mask, blackout curtains. I really like an eye mask because if you have an eye mask, you can take it with you. So if you're traveling and you go somewhere like a hotel or someone else's house, and there are other lights in there that you just really don't want to mess with, just put the eye mask on, eliminates all those lights. Another thing you need to think about when sleeping is sound. There are a lot of noises. You may want to drown out those noises. Things like music and a sound machine. Sound machines are great. You can buy little tiny mini sound machines, and that's something else that you can bring with you, especially into a hotel or if you're traveling. I find that air conditioners going on and off really messes with my sleep. Sometimes there's a lot of noises. So music, sound machine. Some people even use earplugs at night. Just a limited amount of sounds that might wake them up during the night. Air quality. That's another thing that you kind of want to think about at night. You want to make sure there's good ventilation, fresh air. You don't want any mold to be building up because that's associated with insomnia. Air purifiers in your room are great, as well as plants. Some people don't want plants in their room, so maybe you want to try an air purifier. You don't want to buy an air purifier, maybe try some plants. And you also want to avoid excess humidity. Now, the other thing in the environment is your mattress. You want to make sure wherever you're sleeping, it's comfortable and supportive. You don't have any issue with pressure points, and your spine is in neutral alignment. That goes the same with pillows. You want to make sure your pillows are not propping your head in weird positions, but if you're a stomach sleeper, side sleeper, back sleeper, get a pillow to keep your neck in neutral alignment, and that'll help you sleep better as well. Now, if some people want to know about babies and children and their sleep environment, a lot of the things are the same. But for little tiny babies, I'd be really careful with blankets. And I definitely wouldn't use a chili pad. But, just for a baby, you want the room to be kind of cool. You actually don't want it too warm. A fan is great for a baby to keep that air circulating. And you don't really want to bundle them up and have them get too warm either for little tiny babies. And if for younger children, you may want to have a blanket, but you don't want them to get too warm. Because if you bundle them up and you put too many blankets on your children, they'll get warm at night and will wake up. So, you just want to be able to eliminate that. The same thing with light. You don't want blue lights, devices and stuff for your children close to bed. It's going to do the same thing as with adults. And in the baby's room, if you have dim lights in the room for the baby, some people will say no lights at all. No lights are really needed for a baby. But if you do want to put a light, make sure it's not a blue light. Maybe you want to get something more on the redder, more orangey, soft spectrum, but you don't want a blue light in there. You want something like a reddish or an orangish light. Sound machines are wonderful for babies. I use them in my childcare center all the time. I kind of like high quality sound machines that make a good sound. So you may want to research some of them. Some sound machines are kind of annoying for people, especially if they repeat and you can hear the repeat. But if you get a really good sound machine, they are great, and they work magic for some babies. And same thing as a fan, you just want to have good air quality in the room for a baby. You shouldn't use pillows for babies of any kind. And children, don't necessarily need a pillow. It's really just to keep their neck in a neutral position, but you do want to make sure there is a very supportive mattress, and do not get a soft mushy mattress for a baby. Make sure it's a very firm mattress that is recommended for a baby. You don't want any soft mushiness, extra blankets, anything in there that could disrupt their breathing. Nothing at all for a little tiny baby. But for children, just make sure you have a good quality mattress that's supportive, so they can sleep well. Okay, so the last thing we're going to talk about today is your sleep routine. And what might be surprising for some people is that the sleep routine to help you sleep better at night starts in the morning. So we talked about cortisol and melatonin. So you want to wake up in the morning, and the best way to wake up and get that cortisol going to wake you up in the morning is to get light in your eyes in the AM. It is recommended somewhere between the time of 6 a.m. about 8:30 a.m. to get outside and get good natural light in your eyes. That will help raise that cortisol in your body and lower the melatonin, which will help get rid of any sleepiness in your body. The other thing you might not realize is that light throughout the day, increasing cortisol throughout the day, will also help with melatonin and getting better sleep at night. Light signals your brain and other organs to be able to be awake, and it also has an impact on serotonin. You want serotonin is also impacted by sunlight, and serotonin is that happiness and well-being hormone. So if you get enough light, you're going to have more of that serotonin and that happiness hormone, which a lot of people need. You also will get some vitamin D in your body if you get some more sunlight during the day. So it's really important to get natural sunlight. You would be really surprised with the how little light you can get from indoor light compared to outdoor light. Typical indoor light is 100 times less bright than outdoors. Even on a cloudy day, a cloudy day is 10 times brighter than office light inside. So even on a cloudy day, it's really good to get outside, better than staying inside. But even if you're near a window, is better than not being near a window. So office windows versus non-office windows. There was a study done and found people that did not have windows in their office were 173% less exposed to light and slept 46 minutes less and had more physical ailments than people who had offices near windows. So that's a little bit about different types of light. Some light through a window is better than no light at all. Cloudy daylight is better than indoor light, and full sunlight's better than cloudy day. So that's it about light. And so I recommend getting light outside in the morning, getting outside throughout the day. If you have any children, babies, same thing. Get them outside in the light as much as possible. Not so much they're going to get sunburned and have problems with their skin, but even outside in the shade, just getting a little bit of light throughout the day is so important to help with your hormones and regulating your circadian rhythm. Now, the other thing for your sleep routine is routine at night. Basically, what you want to do is create a habit. You want a habit just to signal to your body that, yep, it's time to go to sleep. And it can be whatever habit you want it to be. Part of that habit that kind of helps ease into sleep is dimming the lights, lowering them a little bit, doing something that's relaxing, and turning off the blue lights. So create any habit that you want to do, but try to do something that's a little relaxing, and maybe try to lower those lights to help ease your body, to help reduce that cortisol so that you can increase your melatonin. And all that is the same for babies and children, little children especially. The greater habit you have as far as this is the time to go to bed, the better they're going to go to sleep. And the same thing about lowering lights and relaxing. But you want to create a bedtime habit for your children as well. And that's probably even more important for your children, to signal them that it's time to relax, it's time to calm down, it's time to go to sleep. So they'll get into their right routine, their body will get accustomed to that, and they'll be able to go to sleep a little better. Okay, so there are 3 actions that I want you to take today. First thing is, I want you to pick 3 things to change in your sleep environment. Just 3. And make them as simple as possible. You can pick more than 3 things that you want to do, but I just want you to pick 3 things to change in your sleep environment to help you get better sleep. Then I want you to pick one thing you're going to do to get more light during the day. If it's getting out in the morning a little bit longer, during lunchtime getting out a little bit longer, just pick one thing you're going to do to get more light during the day. And then I want you to pick one thing to do that will signal yourself to go to sleep at night, to develop that habit for a sleep routine. Just one thing. So pick 3 things for a sleep environment, one thing to get more light during the day, and then one thing to start developing a sleep routine. And I want you to email me what those things are you're going to do, so we can start to put a plan together, and it will build over the week so you can start to get better sleep.